Tattered Bunny Collage Book, where stories are told. Oh, listen to that tattered, fluffy bunny, a raggedy witness of time that no one took. Ephemera of love, decay, and grace, whispers of a childhood rhyme.
It's again one of those days where you wake up and you have an idea in your head, but you are not really sure if that idea can be brought to life. So what's the best thing you could do? Obviously, sit down on your craft desk and just try it out. And that is exactly what I want to do today in this video together with you. So if you are expecting a professional tutorial, then this is not the right video for you. But if you want to perhaps grab some supplies and try this little experiment here together with me, then it's exactly the right video for you, because I think when we have something in our head and we just try it out instead of, you know, sitting and planning and making a little sketch or something or measuring something, it's the best thing you could do, just to sit down and try it out. So perhaps you want to grab some supplies and do this here together with me. What are we going to need for this? So what is the idea? I want to make a pocket for my Tattered Bunny Collage Book, which you can see here. And I want this pocket to have something special, and that is the head of a bunny, which can flip open or so. So that means even if this is a, let's say, 90% vegetarian household, we need to cut the bunny somewhere. Don't panic, he will not get grilled or so, but I want that the head of the bunny can flip up so that then the pocket opens somehow. And for that I want to use this print here. As you can see, here's something missing. My printer did something really weird. It wanted to make a little break just in the middle of printing this page. That's why here is nothing. So this page from my Tattered Bunny Collage Book Junk Journal pages is normally a full page, and here is the rest of the design, you know, meant to be, but it's just not here. But that is not a reason to throw this away, so we can still use this. And I find especially this page here and the size of the bunny on this page really good, because I think that is a good size compared to my pages I have here, which are DIN A5, which is the half of DIN A4, which is this size, comparable to US letter size. So, you know, when you have a full US letter size sheet and you fold that in half, then you have the half of US letter size in your journal. I don't know if there's a specific name for that, or is it just called the half of US letter size? I don't know if there's something like A4 and A5 like in the language available, but I think you know what I mean. So of course you can take any other image you have, and if you don't have digital paper, then just use something else. You could also use, for example, another animal, another image of another animal. It doesn't have to be a bunny, but obviously this journal is bunny themed, and this is what I want to use today. And then I want to use an envelope, and I've decided to use this one here, which comes from my Worn Easter Ledger ephemera pack. By the way, all the digitals I use here are linked down below in the description box, next to a playlist about the Tattered Bunny Collage Book. Oh, I always struggle with these things. Wait, how do I have to do this? So that you can check that out. And I want to use this envelope here because I think the colors fit really, really well, because they are neutral to this bunny image. But you can obviously also use just a junk mail envelope or any other kind of envelope you might have. at hand, or you can just, whoo, okay, do you know what? You have to go. I will just fold it like so. I thought using the scoreboard would be a good idea, but I think it's easier for me to just fold it like so. Then I can see where these corners are, and then I can easily see where it's meant to fold, and it just, you know, nearly folds automatically there where it needs to be folded. Yeah, but anyway, you need an envelope or another kind of pocket which has, say the right word, Luise, this flap. It's not a flip. I learned that during the EPHEMERA 2024. This is called flap and not flip. But you need something to glue the head of the bunny or whichever animal you want to use on, so that this mechanism can work. I mean, it hopefully will work. I have no idea until now if it will work. So I will quickly glue this together. So if you have the ephemera pack, you can just, you know, fold it. Not the ephemera pack, but this envelope. And then, sorry, I had a clown for breakfast. And then you can just glue this down here. If you have very liquid glue or tend to use too much glue, you could also use double-sided tape to glue this together. That would also work pretty well. And then we have it like so, and then we have this little flap here, which I then later on want to use like so. So that means upside down, so that the pocket can open like this. And then, you know, we can put something in here like so. But this is pretty boring, isn't it? And I'm also thinking, is it perhaps possible to even turn the envelope into a flip up thingy, so that we later on can still see this butterfly? That is the second idea I just got while I assembled the envelope, but let's first think about the main idea. Before I go on, I will quickly choose a stencil and stencil something to this white area. And I'm thinking, since I have this here still on my desk, this is the stencil from this stamp set here with the bunny, which I have used several times for stamping in the journal. This is by Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz, and this is also part of the Curations release, Curations March 2025. By the way, if you have missed the Stampers Anonymous live, the Curations live, then please go and watch the replay. And if you want to see the reason why I nearly fell off from my sofa when I saw that, then please just go and watch the replay. And if by coincidence or happy accident or whatever, someone at Stampers Anonymous is watching this video right now, then I want to use the chance to say a very, very, very huge thank you to the whole crew at Stampers Anonymous. You absolutely have blown me away with using my song in the live. I have written that song, and the song is called I Am a Stampers Anonymous. I have written that, and then I made the music and the singing with Suno. And I did that for my own reels. And then I sent that to Stampers Anonymous. Obviously, we need to send our things, yeah, to them. And then they said if they can use that song for the live stream. And I was like, yeah, of course, you can do that. I was already really surprised when they asked me, because originally that was not meant, yeah, to do that. I mean, of course, I'm absolutely happy that they liked it, but that they would like it so much that they use it for the live, that was totally out of my, you know, imagination. I couldn't think about that beforehand. And that was not the reason why I made the song, as I just said. But when I heard it, and when they have written me the email that they want to do that, I was like freaking out in the most positive way you can imagine. But that was really, 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 really a huge honor for me to hear that in the live stream. And for all of you who have been there and who have already written comments during the live stream regarding the song, thank you so much. When that started, I mean, when Ted said at the end of the stream that we can now hear or listen to the music, I was, to be honest, not expecting such a crazy chat, and you have absolutely made my whole month with that, and your reactions, just wonderful, just wonderful. So thank you very much for that. That is, yeah, I mean, that is something that happens not so often, and probably never again, but that is, you know, for me, that is really, really a cool thing, and I feel truly honored that that is out there now. Is it possible? I mean, shall we? Let's... I just wanted to stencil here on the inside of this envelope, and what happens, I get another idea, which I have, to be honest, never tried before, because I just thought, what if I line these polka dots up and then go over this here, so that the pattern, you know, can go over this pattern here. Ooh, that is somehow, ooh, I find that really interesting. Can I please have more of that here? So this is Scorched Timber ink now, and the first layer I've stenciled with the oxide ink, but it's a little bit, still a little bit too white, isn't it? Shall we perhaps take the rest of the oxide ink we have here and just, oh yeah, just go over it like so. We'll do it here, it's easier. And for all of you who thought that my junk journal music was sung, is that the past of sing? Hopefully, by my landlord Sasha. Yeah, you have written so many comments, and that is obviously absolutely sweet. But I just wanted to clarify that he is not the singer of my junk journal songs. Yeah, perhaps if you follow my channel for already a longer time, you have noticed that I tried to make some songs matching the paper collections and the topics I'm working on and the projects I'm working on. And so many of you have written, oh, that's so nice that Sasha is singing the songs and blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to clarify that it's not Sasha who is singing the songs. But I wrote the lyrics, and the music and the rest, you know, the voice and so on, is made with Suno, and it's not Sasha. Okay. He already also was like, well, what? Why do they think that? And I was like, yeah, because we did a little collaboration in the past, and then, you know, they obviously think that you are the one who is singing that because they know that you sing, and that's probably the reason. But it is not him. He would perhaps also, no, not perhaps, he would for sure not have the time to do that for me. So yeah, just that is also sad. So this is just some dirty paintbrush water, some gesso and other stuff is in there, and this is just some leftover coffee. Ugh. What is that? Oh, that is probably a little bit of glue. Doesn't matter. Let's just splatter this on here. And then I want to take my journal and see where I can have this envelope, on which page. I mean, we could even use such a ledger page here. I mean, we can glue it like so, and this can then overlap. Well, do you know what? What we are going to do is we are going to take this thing first, and we cut the bunny out so that we then can see how the bunny looks on this background or the other options we had there. First of all, I think we should decide about the background. I really like this ledger here. Where was the other page? What if we try it here and see how we like it if we cover the bunny up with another bunny? I mean, here it would be pretty good because I have this slot here between the signatures, and then I have automatically more room here. I think for such a bulky thing like this envelope, it would be really good to have that here, because on the first pages of each signature we always have more room because of this thing here. And to be honest, I really don't care to cover up the other bunny. When we have this, we are going to take something like, for example, a paper clip or so, to don't mix your decorative paper clips with your normal paper clips. It's absolutely nerve-wracking when you then try to find just a normal paper clip. So I take this, I'm so sorry, and I clamp this here so that I know the position of the bunny. And now when this is here, we can of course decide for the position of the envelope. So we could do it perhaps like so, because then, I mean, holy cow, this is really difficult to explain, because obviously I don't want to cut through the eyes of the bunny here now. And if I would place the envelope here, wait, let me zoom in a little bit more so that you can see that better. If I would place the envelope here and I want that the flap of the envelope opens like so, that would mean that I would need to cut the bunny image exactly here through the eyes to then be able to glue this part to the envelope so that it can flip open. Yeah, so we need to cut the bunny somewhere here. And I don't want to cut through the eyes, even if that, of course, would be possible. Yeah, if you like that, then you do that. But I would feel like, you know, a murderer or so if I would cut through here. Yeah, so I want to try to find a position for the envelope where I can then cut the bunny in a better place. I mean, where's the difference if we cut him here or here where the neck is? This feels a little bit like a murderer as well, but you know, we can make that little invisible then later so that we don't see that it is cut there. At least that's the plan. So let's see. What if, yeah, I think that should be possible. What if we cut it just here? So I take my fingernail tool. You could alternatively take an, here, bone folder. Let's do it like so. Then I go along here, because then I can exactly see where I need to cut this. Then I can take this off. I can take my paper trimmer. I line it up here because then my cut is parallel to this. But what I see is that I would cut through this flower. Yeah, that is no problem. Let's do that. Absolutely no problem, because if we take this little piece and this little piece, we can then just put that on the envelope as well, and then the flower is complete again. So then I would say we put this behind here again, take another paper clip, then we line up this edge here of the envelope with this edge of the image, and we also decide for this position. And then let's take perhaps our Iron Presley, put him on here, and Luise or Mariah on here. And perhaps give me the second daughter. So here we go, and then I can take this, and now I will put only a little bit of glue, if it wants to come out here, to this edge here. Hello, oh, it's closed. To this edge here, because then, holy moly, can you please come out? Oh, what is this? Why is why is my glue clogged? That's probably the reason why I don't use art glitter glue. Oh my goodness. I want to go to my mom. Ah! Holy cow. What I'm trying to do here is I want to try to glue this on here, but only with this little bit of glue, because that way I can first find the correct position so that it lines up exactly with this other piece here. But I still have the possibility to layer other things under here later. I don't want to glue it down completely now. This thing here, we can glue that down later, but I want to attach the envelope first. So we take Iron Presley off. This is still in the correct position. And now let's think about turning this into a flip up, because I can't get this idea out of my head. That should be possible somehow. I have the sellotape by Tim Holtz Ideology here, but you can obviously use any other tape as well. I want it a little bit wonky so that it looks like it is part of the printed design here. This looks absolutely weird. Holy moly. We need we need to do something there, and that's the reason why I haven't glued this down here and also this, so that we now can choose some things to, you know, put them here. What could that be? I mean, what if, I mean, look, wait, I'm so sorry. First, I need to take this little thing, because I'm sure I will otherwise lose that. This is the little piece of this flower. I need to glue that to the envelope now, otherwise I will forget it later and then it will probably be lost. Glue this on here. But I'm just thinking, it's obviously a nice surprise, or at least I find that it is a nice surprise when we see this bunny here on the page, and then we see that we can open it like so, and when we then find out that we can flip it up like so. But what if we would have a second bunny head here? Can that work? I mean, this is a completely different image, obviously. I mean, style-wise, because there are, holy cow, different styles of images in this, or in this printable. Oh! But I mean, when I look to this from far away, it really makes sense. The whole shape makes sense, and like, you know, try to see the outline of the bunny. Makes sense. The colors make sense. But what I don't like is this. But we can't change this straight line, because otherwise this would look not so nice when it's like so. So what we need to do is we take this, then we put our glue on here, then we glue this behind here. It's like this. We don't care about the weird thing here. Then we, oh no. Yeah, we take this. Oh no, that was not a good idea. That was definitely not a good idea. Wait. Because when I do it like so, I can't see where I need to glue this. So what we are going to do is something different. We are going to take this first put our glue on here. And I will leave this space here. So yeah, without glue. The flower here I can glue down, but here where my finger is and here where the torn paper is, I don't put glue. Because that way we can find the correct position for this piece first. Here, like so. And then when we have that, this area is safe, because now we can't see that here is a cut. And then we can take this, and now we need to put the glue to the back of this and here, so that we can attach it there. Put this behind here somehow. So then, when we have that, let's think about something. Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah, the solution is, oh my goodness, the solution is so easy because, oh yes. How flexible is this? Yeah, look, because a second ago I thought it would be cool to have something which holds this closed. We could, for example, put a little Velcro dot here or a magnet or something like that. But this here, how can we hold this closed? I mean, there are obviously different possibilities, but one possibility would be to make something which is like a little bow or so. Did I really say bow? Oh my goodness, I said bow. Is there a bow in my brain right now? Holy cow, what's happening with me? I think I'm getting old. If you know, you know. And you can be sure that this bow doesn't become pink. Yeah, that is for sure. But if this was a bow, you know, which makes sense on the design of the bunny, that we could take this and just tuck that behind this thing, and that would then be, you know, hold down. And it would make sense on the design here, and if we have two layers also here. But what if we don't think about a bow, because I hate bows, but instead, what if we instead first drink a coffee? Because, I mean, it would solve two problems at once, wouldn't it? I mean, look, now this strange area would be covered up. That would be, I mean, that would be a really easy solution, but that would be a solution. Shall we perhaps even make it more extreme? I mean, look, if I glue it like so, then it would be enough. But it looks like it is somehow in the wrong place. But if we do it extremer, I mean, even like so perhaps, is it then even more artsy and more, how do you say that? Intentional. But if the nose isn't shown, that looks weird. It looks somehow murdered. I will go and make a coffee, and then I will decide if this is the solution. I mean, while I'm having the coffee, I will decide that. And I will take my beans here. And if you want to know what I'm listening to when I have my coffee, it's this stream here. And I will link this man again down below for you. If you want to know more about this phenomenon and why I listen to this, watch the last video in this playlist. This is just too cute. I need to do this like so. Wait. The glue needs to go only to the bottom part. I need to make sure that I don't glue this wrong now. Put the glue to the wrong spot. I have thought about a joke the other day. So listen and tell me if that is if that is funny, because it's my own joke. What is a stamping moose without a name? It's a stamping anonymous. Is that funny? Please let me know if that is a funny joke or if it's only funny for me. This is perfect. Okay, so then we can open it like so and then open it like so. But what we then need is a closure for this. And I want to layer some things behind the bunny. I think we should do that first. And for that, I want to use some of my snippets I made here. There's a video about how I made these in the playlist linked below this video as well, if you want to see that.
Large pieces of my soul, soft companions through time. Touch their fur, feel the warmth they make. It's a bond you can't forsake. Worn ledger sheets and sepia tones.
If there was something like a coin envelope closure, let's try to also figure that out together. So what if I will just take a scrap paper, because you know later on I will then probably cut that from something different because this is just too flimsy, but it would then need to go obviously somewhere here, because then you know a coin envelope closure would be then like so that we have a brad in here, somehow a brad in here, and then we can close it. One possibility would be to take one of the snippets and cut that into a circle, or who says that this needs to be a circle? I mean, from a coin envelope we know these closures in a round shape, but who says that it needs to be round? It doesn't have to be round. We could also do it like so. This is probably a little bit big, but we could also take something like this. Why not? That would be one possibility which comes to my mind, but another possibility would be to take one of these flowers. I mean, not the whole thing, but I'm talking about this small thing here. So that means we need to make this way, way smaller so that we can see more of the bunny's face. Cut this off. Oh, this will work. Oh my goodness. Okay. The brad needs to be long enough that it can go through the flower and the other layers, meaning the bunny and the envelope. And even if I would love to use this golden one, that's not going to happen because this is just too short. I have these stars here, bunny journal / Easter journal and stars. Yes, why not? So concentration. First, we make a hole here. I'm using the smaller. I don't use my crocodile at all. I use an awl, because this is pretty thin as well, and I'm assuming if I would use the crocodile, the hole would be too big, even if I would use the small hole. Is that ugly? Yes, it needs to be round. Well, let me please quickly check this golden one, even if I just said that it's probably too short, because this would be just perfect shape and color wise. Well, let's perhaps just try that. I mean, who says normally, yeah, I mean, I'm so sorry. Normally, if I would make a coin envelope, I would probably take the flap and put a hole here and put the bread through the hole so that it's then here showing. And then, you know, you could cover it up with something here so that it's not ugly. But who says that the bread needs to go through the envelope? This would also work if the bread would just be closed behind the decoration piece here. And we can then glue it on here. Then we make a little party for the neighbors to get it really flat. I will first cut it a little longer, even if I probably don't need it that long. And now let's think about how to attach this to this. I mean, I could have put that under the legs here. I mean, it's pretty much, isn't it? Can that work when I take this and... let's try that. I will open them again. It's still long enough, even if the thread is underneath. Where shall it go? I mean, we will attach glue here as well, but apply glue there as well. I hold this into that direction so that it's already stuck under the flower in the correct direction. Who says that first this thing needs to be on the envelope? It could also be here, so that we then, you know, if we, please imagine we would use a third flower, so that we then would have this here, this here, this here. Then it looks like, you know, sorry, you can't see it, 3 flowers on this page. 3 as an odd number, you know, is really good. Doesn't need to be in a straight line, you know, like so. Who says that? That is absolutely not necessary. If it would be like so, meaning here in the center or here, that would also work. And that being said, can we use this trash here somehow?
Love, decay, and grace. Whispers of a childhood rhyme. Collage pieces of my soul. Soft companions through time.
So I will punch 2 out of this piece of ideology backdrop. I've chosen this because it already has some gold splatters, and if we perhaps later on see some of this because of technical reasons to attach this, then it's not so bad. And then on top of this there will go this piece of cheesecloth, which we've cut off from the other piece, and also this tiny thing. But perhaps, wait, let's first put this on, because otherwise the other thing would cover that up. No, this would cover the other thing up. So then, oh, come. We put glue on here, so that we then can glue this down. And now I need to think about this really, really cleverly. And while I'm doing that, I will quickly assemble this thing here in exactly the same way. And since this here is only a decoration and it doesn't have any function, I think we can already glue this down, but this journal, to be honest, it drives me crazy sometimes, but in a really positive way, because I so often have these moments where I think, okay, let's glue this down. And then I think, no, we don't glue this down, but we do something else first.
Large pieces of my soul, soft companions through time. Touch their fur, feel the warmth they make. It's a bond you can't forsake.
Oh no, this is the one I had decided for there. Well, is that really different? No. Well, I need to change it because this is smaller. This needs to go here because this butterfly wing die cut is, the proportion is just better here. And there in the corner of the envelope it can't be so big. Okay, so then we need to make this into something where we can wrap this thing around. Then we need a hole in here. And that's also one reason for these circles. If you want to do this, then it's good to have something sturdy under here. No matter what you glue on there as a decoration, make sure that you have something you know, where the legs of the bread can grab and where you can glue this down properly. And I'm just realizing that this size of the breads is just perfect for this die cut. Look how cute this looks. Would have been really cool to have just a bread for decoration here as well. So then here we need to do that a little different, because I want that this can wrap around the bread here, and then that's our closure. So we need to make sure that the head of the bread is not touching this thing here completely. I don't want it to be too loose, but this distance between the head and the flower needs to be at least that much that we can wrap this around 1 or 2 times so that it can then be closed. Let's glue this down. This is now a little bit hard because the glue hasn't grabbed yet, but I want to find the length of this thread. Then we can cut this into the right length and decide about something we could add here. One of our labels, or 2 of our labels, because we would need 2, one for the front and one for the back of this. And I have also in the meantime set up a blog post where you can find some more detailed photos of this journal and the different components we've made, and the link to the blog post is also obviously down below in the description box. And I want to give this some more interest, so I will first staple in here on the bottom. Ooh, and then we could, oh no, why haven't I thought about that before? Oh, I'm such an idiot. Because when I have these rusted pieces here, I got them in a Happy Mail. Thank you again for that, because this is just perfect for this jar. And I'm just thinking I could have used, for example, this, but then on the other side to give this more weight, because this is obviously metal. And then this automatically, you know, when you have the journal in an angle like so, this automatically goes down and it has a little more weight. Can I? Let's open this again. Hallelujah. Let's cut the thread here. Let's then take this. If I would make a knot there and then bring the knot to the back, I mean this here to the back of this label. Yeah, and then I can just put the glue here. I take this and I put this on here, trying to get the thread in there, but this like so that it is then hopefully in the correct position later, but it needs to be on the very edge, I think. Then what about gold splatters? While this is drying, I will go and search for a little quote which I can add here. Relax, we are all crazy, it's not a competition, because this looks pretty crazy. And oh yes, let's take this one, because this sounds then like this rabbit would say this quote to the other rabbit, which is behind the pocket. So here we go. This is my pocket. I hope you like this little idea. Leave a comment what you think about this. If you want to make something for your own journal, then make sure to tag me on social media if you want to post it somewhere. You can also post it in my Facebook group, Junk Journal Deutsch, which is, yeah, it has started as a German Facebook group years ago, but in the meantime it has grown into a really international group of junk journal lovers. The link is down below in the description box as well. And if you want to join the group, don't freak your freak. Just, you know, if you don't speak German, just throw your post in English, and then the people there can translate what you have posted into their language by pressing this little translation button on Facebook. Don't forget to make music for your neighbors. And see you the next time with another idea. Bye bye.